الله نويت السلوك لله تعالى في هذا المسجد على نيتكم يا سيدي يا مولانا سلطان الأولياء مولانا الشيخ محمد ناظم الحقاني دستور يا سيدي مدد، وعلى نيتكم يا سيدي وشيخي وأستاذي مولانا الشيخ هشام مدد الحق قطب المتصرف دستور يا سيدي مدد، مولانا الشيخ نازم قدس الله سره says, you want us to speak on the level of the human mind or above that level? In our blessed Sharia, the level of aql, meaning human mind, human reason, human intelligence, is for the affairs of dunya, the fiqh of living in this dunya. But when it comes to Aqidah and Iman, it's useless. You have to go higher than human mind and human intelligence. Because if you want to take the mizan of human reason and put in that mizan all of the items of Aqidah and Iman, they lose their value. They lose their value because you cannot evaluate and approach them with human reason, because they are at the level of Malakut. Malakut, not at the level of dunya and the created intelligence. They are at the level of the invisible world of divine sovereignty, Malakut, as opposed to what here where we live, Mulk. This is Mulk in dunya, meaning visible and palpable sovereignty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the things that we can all enjoy and hear and see it. But as for the affairs of Malakut, then it requires something out of this world. And so you say, Amantu, I believe. So you say, you believe with your intelligence only? You say, no. I believe with my whole soul. You yourself, we ourselves, we use language to show that it's beyond intelligence. You don't say just, I believe with my intelligence only. You have to believe with your heart and soul. Or you can say with every fiber of your being. Everything that is you. I believe in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers. In Qada and Qadar, I believe. I do not discuss it. I do not try to analyze it. I do not try to put it into the mizan and balance of my intelligence. I will fail miserably, and I will give less value to Qada and Qadar if I do that, because the value of Qada and Qadar is beyond this world of dunya. It is in Malakut. It belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, believe in Allah, believe in the angels, believe in the books, believe in the messengers, believe in Qada and Qadar, believe in al-Yawm al-Akhir, the last day, the day of judgment, and in resurrection after death, the resurrection of the dead. So this is from Aqidah and from Iman. It's from the world of Malakut, above human intelligence, above human reason and mind. There is something which is the taste of the pleasure of spiritual things. Spiritual things, ruhaniya, spiritual realities, spiritual world, spiritual presence. The more your i'tiqad, yani aqidah and belief, your iman is strong, the more you will experience the pleasure of spiritual things. If you ask Allah, oh Allah, make my iman strong, and then you will receive help, maybe from your teacher, your shaykh, your murshid, or your son, your daughter, or your husband, your wife will give you advice, nasiha. Accept that as the answer to your dua. You see, it's not an accident. If you hear some advice coming after you make dua to Allah, Ya Rabbi, help me for this or that. Here you say, Ya Rabbi, help me with my iman. And then someone comes and gives you advice. Take it seriously. This is connected. It's not an accident. So, especially if it is your murshid at all times. The things that strengthen the iman. So the iman, when it becomes stronger, for example, go to majlis zikr regularly, because the majlis of the khatam every week, a lot of spiritual help, a lot of spiritual attendance also, the malaika. This is in the hadith. This is guaranteed. But special also individual, fardan, each one that comes with a specific different need, then Allah sends to this one this need, to that one that need. This is a reality also. And you come asking for the best thing, iman, stronger iman. Allah will send you first and most help, because that's what we are created for. We are created for Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So your iman will get stronger, and you will feel and experience the taste of the spiritual pleasures more, spiritual pleasures. We are not talking about physical pleasures. Physical pleasures, it might be that a person is in very good health and rich and young or able at everything and sane and has education, but not experiencing any pleasure. But the spiritual pleasure is a matter of the heart. That is without limits. The spirit is without limits. The body is, everything about it is limits. 1 hour or 2 hours, 3 hours, you will get tired. We will get tired. We will get hungry, we will get sleepy, we will get thirsty. But the spiritual pleasure is like a rocket going without fuel. No need for fuel, because the fuel is infinite. See, it keeps going. You want to go farther outside the solar system, we go outside the solar system. You want to go outside the Milky Way, we go outside the Milky Way. Awliya, Mawlana, they reach, you know how they say the visible universe, You can check it on Google with the zoom in to the farthest end of the visible universe. But the awliya, they go also into the invisible universe. They can reach that far. Allah gives them that power. Even with the body, but the body does not matter, because what matters is the spirit. The spirit carries the body, not the body carries the spirit. If the body is the one carrying, then we face difficulty, because we are working with our limitations all the time. But if we surrender to this ruhaniya, the spirit, and then the spirit now carries. So you will see, like Mawlana, at the age of 70 plus in London with the Taraweeh, much younger people, they cannot keep up. Mawlana, Allahu Akbar, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but Taraweeh, very fast, 20 rak'at. So in the 90s in London, right? How old? He was already 70 plus, because he was born in 1922. Allahu Akbar. So the spirit is what matters. So with the spirit you experience that spiritual pleasure of ruhaniya and communication from the world of ruhaniya. That is what matters. Like, for example, the awliya in barzakh. Like, for example, more than that, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. See, so whether in your sleep, that is also the spirit seeing that kind of vision, or awake, that is also the spirit. So this is what matters. Mawlana is saying we need spiritual pleasure and knowledge and instruction more than the blind person needing a stick. You know the stick of the blind person? You need that stick. They need that stick, and for them the stick is very helpful. It allows them to know the exact configuration of the world around them. We need spiritual knowledge and spiritual pleasure for motivation more than that stick, more than the blind person needs that stick. Otherwise we are completely lost. We can cross the street at the wrong time. We can fall into a hole or into a wall, hit a wall instead of walking correctly. And we can also think that this is spiritual when in reality it's not spiritual. It's plastic and it's fake and false, batil. So we don't want batil, we want haqq. So we need that connection. And this is what Mawlana said, that Mawlana Shaykh Abdullah said, we need that ruhaniya more than the blind man needs a stick to walk. Mawlana is saying that the speech of Mawlana Shaykh Abdullah Daristani, that is the door for that ruhaniya that we are looking for. That ruhaniya which is from Malakut, connected to the highest spiritual world, beyond human intelligence, beyond this world. Where is the guide? That guide is the speech of that guide is the key for our connection to the Malakut. And Mawlana is saying that, Grand Shaykh was saying that, where are the ulama of ruhaniya in our time, in order to help the people connect themselves with their thirst for that spiritual pleasure, to satisfy their need for it? Is it all about dunya? To know how to fix our affairs in dunya and according to sharia, and do this, do not do that, and that's it? Or is there more? Do we need more of a connection with something beyond the dunya? Where is the spiritual teaching, the spiritual speech? He's saying, where are the ulama? What are they teaching in order to help the people? Because we look at the result, the situation of the people. The people are not happy. As we said, Mawlana said, they are running away from Allah. They are rebelling in rebellion, saying, we are too busy. We have too many needs from this dunya. We have no time. You see, so this blessed majlis is small, but it concerns all of humankind. So someone might ask, if it's so important, why not more people come? Because dunya is monopolizing us. If your sheikh is such a big wali, why there is not more people around him? We always see small groups. Like for example now, with Mawlana Sheikh in Michigan, someone asked that question, but Mawlana replied it years ago. He said, if you go to the market, you will see everyone full. The market is full of people buying fish, meat, potatoes, carrots, vegetables, rice, this and that. Even at the cattle market, they are buying cows and buffaloes and sheep. You see lots of people there. You go to the mall, lots of people full all the time. But if you go to a jeweler that is selling diamonds, you will see 2 or 3 people. You will not see people crowded and making a line in order to get to it. People just want their bread. They are running after their bread, or after their rice, whatever. Mawlana would say, you have to choose between your love of bread, meaning, of course, Mawlana says we must respect, because bread is blessed, and rice is like a karama, miracle, to produce the rice that is ready to eat. It's many miracles happening, from production to readiness. So this is rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, this is not what we were created for, because we share that love with animals. They also love their food. So love of that is not what makes us special as human beings. So love of ruhaniyah. So where are the teachers of ruhaniyah? Mawlana is asking. Not only they are difficult to find. Mawlana said maybe 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 or 10,000 you can hardly find like that. Because not only they are rare to find, but sometimes they object. They will find excuses to object to tariqah, to tasawwuf and Sufis and this and that. Yahu, bring your dalil. These are our dalils. The Shaykh, the speech of the Shaykh is our dalil, our guide to a pure spiritual life that will refresh our hearts, that will clear our thoughts, so that we can focus on what is important and we can finish our fear, and not be afraid anymore, not be worried anymore, because haqq is haqq and you are on the way of haqq. That's why Mawlana said, be haqqani, be defender of truth. and be in love with that path. That is the spiritual path. You must not object. That is a rule in tariqah. But rather listen and put it in your heart and start practicing. When you love, you try to think of what can you give to show your love. You want to express gratitude as well as love, because a large part of love is gratitude, thankfulness. And then you want to also express your understanding that the one that you love is special. So you want the gift to be special also. You see, because the gift says something about the giver. So you want to show in that gift that I appreciate your beauty, your specialness, your treasure, oh you whom I love. See, so you want to give something special to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What will you give? If we are stuck at the level of Sharia, we will just do the fard, and we may sometimes or not do the sunnah, because it is not fard, we say to ourselves. But if you want to, even at the level of Sharia, you want to give something special, at least show that you love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by following his sunnah. It's for your own good anyway. And then beyond that, what can we do? Do something special, something that not everyone does. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave us a key to that. He said, Afshu salam, give salam to people, everyone, even those you don't know. At'imut ta'am, feed people, give food to people, even complete strangers, give food to them. وَصَلُّوا فِي اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ, and pray at night when people are asleep. That last one is the most difficult, because at night we feel tired and in need of sleep. So you take away from that need, and you come to be alone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and everyone is sleeping. At that time there is a light that goes from your house to the Bayt al-Ma'mur, and the angels can see it from very far, and they come and they listen to your salat, they make dua and istighfar for you, they surround you, and they love to keep company with you, and they love to hear Quran also. And Mawlana has this phrase that is as if like a proverb. He says, أعطي نفسك خذ سرك. 4 words. أعطي نفسك خذ سرك. Give your nafs, your life, take your secret. Meaning, the more you sacrifice of yourself and what belongs to you, of your property, of your comfort, of your honor, for the sake of others, of your habits also. You break your habits for the sake. So For example, people who go on Hajj, they do all of that. They sacrifice everything. Their time, their property, their comforts, their habits. They break all that and they go on a difficult journey. And they face tests also. Allah tests them. But Allah gives them support from the moment that they step outside of their house. On the far end of the world going to Mecca. So like that. And what is the ultimate? To give your whole life. أعطِ نفسك خذ سرك. Give your nafs, yani your soul, give your life away, sacrifice it for others. And take your secret. Allah will give you, open to you the secret of Ruhaniyah. And Mawlana said at that time, yani you will see what no eyes has seen, you will hear what no ear has heard, and you will, as we said, to understand the tasbih, for example, of all creation. First, you hear it. You hear the tasbih of the trees, the water, the leaves, the stones, the stars. And Mawlana said, higher than that, you understand each tasbih separately, and you understand that each tasbih is different from the other. And higher than that, you understand the wisdom of why this tasbih, why this one is saying this tasbih. Subhanallah. See how Prophet ﷺ, he showed that to the Sahaba with the food and with the pebbles that were making tasbih, and the Sahaba would hear them. MashaAllah. The animals even giving salam, the trees speaking and giving shahada around Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He showed that to other people. Now, so Mawlana is saying those awliya that are open because they gave their lives away, as if like dying, and then Allah gives back the life, like that, to that point, to that extent, and you are ready to go. And Mawlana Shaykh Hisham, he narrated this, that he reached the point of dying on the operation table, and then came back from that, and things were different for him after that, spiritually, he said. So, أعطِ نفسك خذ سرك. Give up yourself, take your secrets. If we die before we die, as the advice, موتوا قبل أن تموتوا, die before you die. In other words, die to your nafs, and you rid yourself of the tyranny of the nafs over you. Then Allah gives you control over your nafs, and much more than that. وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمْ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا مِنْهُ. And He has given you control over what is in the skies and what is in the earth, all of it, from Him. This is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this control. So this is a promise in the Holy Quran. Where are the ulama that are explaining this ayah in the ruhaniyah sense? They explain it too much in the jusmaniyah sense, yani bodily, corporeal sense, material sense. of control over the resources of the earth. What about the skies also? Or maybe control over the weather? Rain? Now they can make rain, they say. They create problems. Like in Dubai. Yeah, look it up what they did with the weather. Floods. Yeah. So, but anyway, you think that سَخَّرَ لَكُمْ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ, the heavens, the skies, is only this sky above us? Yani in the atmosphere? What about the other ones? So, anyway, die before you die, because we have to die anyway. And Mawlana is saying, if you do not give your nafs away with your own goodwill, حسن إرادتك, حسن الإرادة, يعني with your own goodwill. You see, because every person wants to defend themselves, their life, their haqq, their rights. No, it's mine. So my comfort, my life, my property, my needs, my person and personality, etc. They don't want to change that. This is how I am. But the Shaykh is saying, no, I want you to die to yourself. Come and be more like the wali. Mawlana Shaykh is showing us this example and giving us a routine or exercises or tests and orders. All of this is to train us to die to ourselves. So the one that refuses and doesn't die of their own goodwill will die by force. Will die by force, as people will do. So it comes as a surprise, as a disappointment that death is here. And at that time, Mawlana says, even if there is 50 doctors, they cannot take back the life from the hand of Azrael, the angel of death. Cannot. The time has come, finish. And before that happens, who comes to the dying person? There is many things that happen, many spiritual phenomena. Mawlana says, Qutb. The Qutb comes. The Qutb al-Bilad, and then the Qutb al-Irshad, and then the Qutb al-Aqtab, and then the Qutb al-Mutasarrif. They all come one after another. And they help. They try to help. And Mawlana says this is for all people. All people. When Mawlana says it's for all people, meaning Muslims, non-Muslims. Now, and then there is the greatest murshid, yani the one on top of all of them. You can call him Ghawth al-A'zam, or Sultan al-Awliya, the one in charge. He takes over. And after that, who comes? Sayyidina al-Khidr. Mawlana said, after that Sayyidina al-Khidr comes to that servant, because they are all servants of Allah. And then after Sayyidina al-Khidr leaves, who comes? Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now leave me with my servant alone. So at that time there is only the servant and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the last 7 breaths. Mawlana Shaykh Hisham, he said one breath like that. And that's one, and then 7 like that. And sometimes they come with very great difficulty. You see, because of the blockage and nearness to, yani the breath is departing, so This is the sakarat al-maut, and the pain and agonies. Agonies, yeah. You know, agony in English, it means yani intense suffering. But agony in Greek, because it comes from Greek, it means fighting. Yes, and the agon is the opponent. So agony is antagonism, like antagonism, you see? Antagonism is connected to agony. Antagonism means opposition, war, fight. So there is a war, a fight going on, you see? And sometimes you can hear, sometimes the person on their deathbed, they will say, no. They might be facing something, or they might be facing some invitation to goodness, and they say no. Or they're facing an enemy, what they feel as an enemy, and they say no, like a temptation. But Mawlana didn't mention that shaitan has any role at that time. You see? Be as it may. At other times, Mawlana did mention that people who smoke a lot, who are addicted to smoking, they have greater difficulty because their tongue becomes tied from shahada. So you must be careful. Mawlana mentioned about a person in Dagestan. Grand Sheikh mentioned their story. Was addicted to smoking, and they were dying on their deathbed, and the Sheikh of that village came and proposed to them, say shahada, and he would look away, he would be distracted, he would ask for a cigarette, and the doctor said, you will die, and he still wanted to smoke. And then after that, the Sheikh of that town left. Sometime later, they told him, Ya Sheikh, that man, he died, he passed away. And they found that him on his bed, that he had rolled the blanket, rolled it, and stuffed it into his mouth like a cigarette. And then he died after that, like that. Yani, anything except to say what is good for you, and to look at who is good for you also. See, this is why there's many gifts are coming. This is a gift that the Shaykh comes visit him to speak goodness to him. Maybe also many invisible visitors coming and saying, and maybe that person at that time is still saying no. So they try, like that. And then Allah says, now I am alone with him in the last 7 breaths. And Mawlana said, those last 7 breaths, no one knows what happens at that time. And when we say at that time, no one even knows if it is the same time as the people see. Because if people open the graves of believers or non-believers, they do not see ahwal of barzakh. It's invisible to them. So this is a barzakh matter, because that person already 1 foot in barzakh. You see, so it can be that Allah expands that time and space, even to the extent of a whole lifetime inside 1 breath, let alone 7 breaths. Subhanallah. So there is difficulty there, but at the same time there is another world going on. That's what Mawlana described here. Subhanallah. No matter what happens, in other words, Allah has the last word. Allah controls everything. Believer, non-believer, good person, bad person, time, space, all that under control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us His mercy from beginning to end. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us ilham to accept His gifts from beginning to end, to show Him shukr and gratitude always for everything, big and small. And anything, there is nothing small coming from Allah. Everything is a big gift. Ya Rabbi, tawbah. Accept our tawbah, accept our istighfar. Guide us, hidayah, in dunya and akhirah, to subul salam, until we reach Darul Khuld and Darul Salam in peace and safety, Ya Rabbi, to be with you and you are happy with us. Ameen. For us and for our usul and furu' and for our brethren, especially the people of this majlis and of this mosque and of this area, and all people and Indonesia and all countries. Ameen. No one knows how anyone on earth dies in reality. No one can tell you this person died, guaranteed died as a believer, or guaranteed died as an unbeliever. But there are signs. There are signs. Like, for example, a person die and you see that they are at peace, full of light and nur on their face. That's a sign. Or die, they say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And this is the last of their speech. That's a sign. Bushra, that they are in Jannah. But if someone dies and they become all, frightening like that, or in the grave, that's not necessarily a sign that they will not improve, because even in the grave there is more happening. This is at the time of death. Then in the grave there is even more happening. So Mawlana is mentioning this is at the time of death, and he says in another suhbah that no one can tell how a person dies in reality. It is a secret between that one and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. Because no one was there when Allah created them, and no one is there when Allah takes them back. It belongs. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Yani lillah la sharika lah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين يحملون العرش يسبحون بحمد ربهم ويؤمنون به ويستغفرون للذين آمنوا Those who are carrying the throne are believing in Allah, saying La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. Yusabbihuna bihamdi rabbihim, and they are making glorification for their nurturing Lord. وَيَسْتَغْفِرُونَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and they ask forgiveness for the believers, all the believers. رَبَّنَا وَسِعْتَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ رَحْمَةً وَعِلْمًا. Oh Allah, you are beyond everything in your mercy and your knowledge. Allah knows every single one and their needs before we even write down our needs and our names. He knows us and He knows our needs, and His mercy encompasses us all, as well as His knowledge. وَسِعْتَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ رَحْمَةً وَعِلْمًا. So the angels are saying this to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are saying فَاغْفِرْ, so forgive. فَاغْفِرْ لِلَّذِينَ تَابُوا وَاتَّبَعُوا سَبِيلَكَ وَقِهِمْ عَذَابَ الْجَحِيمِ. So forgive those who believe and who have followed your way, your sabil, your path, the path of goodness, the path of truth, the path of tawbah, the path of iman. وَقِهِمْ عَذَابَ الْجَحِيمِ, and protect them against the punishment of the fire. O Allah, enter them into the gardens of Adn, يعني عدن, eternity, into the gardens of eternity. وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ وَأَزْوَاجِهِمْ وَذُرِّيَّاتِهِمْ. And those, the righteous ones of their ancestors and their spouses and their descendants. ذُرِّيَّات, يعني ذُرِّيَّة and ذُرِّيَّة and ذُرِّيَّة and ذُرِّيَّات, all of their descendants. This is dua of the angels for the believers at all times. Those that are carrying the throne, يعني الذين يحملون العرش ومن حوله, and around the throne, يعني the nearest of the angels. See, making dua for you and saying, Ya Rabbi, you know them all and your mercy encompasses them all, so bring them into gardens of eternity, and their ancestors and their spouses and their children and their children's children and children's children, like that. Naam. وَقِهِمُ السَّيِّئَاتِ, and protect them against evil things. وَقِهِمُ السَّيِّئَاتِ وَمَنْ تَقِ السَّيِّئَاتِ يَوْمَئِذٍ فَقَدْ رَحِمْتَهُ. And the one whom you protect against evil things on that day, the day of judgment, يوم الحساب, يوم الدين. So, the one you protect, Ya Rabbi, on that day, then truly, 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 that one has received mutlaq mercy, absolute mercy. فَقَدْ رَحِمْتَهُ. وَذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. That is really indeed the one true victory, great victory. رَزَقَنَا اللَّهُ وَإِيَّاكُمْ. And may Allah grant everything that Allah loves for you, that is mentioned here and what is not mentioned also, and He knows better than us, to all and everyone that asked and all their beloved ones in dunya and akhirah. Ameen. ربنا تقبل منا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا 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 والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتح.